Greetings YouTube, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Today I'm having a look at the game Merger 3D. This is a old school FPS game in the vein of Wolfenstein 3D or Blakestone. There's not much in the way of options, so let's just get straight into the game and I'll show you a little bit more about how it works. So, in the vein of the old school type games like Doom and Quake, your story is pretty much just a slab of text. You are a secret agent trying to stop this bioterrorist organisation. There are around a dozen levels in the game, starting off in the jungle and working your way all the way to the top of the enemy fortress. And this game is pretty hard. The main thing is that this game has a lot of artificial difficulty, like other games of the era. You can see here that we've got two weapons to start with, this robotic claw and also I think it's an assault rifle of some sort. You can already see the very similar nature to games like if you played Wolfenstein and Blakestone, and that was obviously on purpose. I love the audio effects in this game. They're just horrendously bad, and it's pretty funny, some of the voice acting. Now, as you can see here, the main problem is that with a lot of games of this era, there are hit scan enemies, and there are also enemies that can blend into the background, because you can see here that there's not a lot of graphical detail, and as you can see, these are supposed to be trees, but it's very easy for enemies to blend into the background and for me to be unable to see them. And a lot of the enemies, as soon as they see you, they will actually start to open fire, and there's not really much you can do about that. So it does feel a little bit cheap, and there's that artificial difficulty, but again, in making a homage to these old style games, they've also inherited a lot of the problems that we saw of games of that type. So yeah, a lot of the difficulty feels a bit cheap. The weapons aren't very accurate, the enemies don't seem to ever miss, and yeah, the enemies are pretty repetitive, but can kill you very quickly. Especially later in the game. This is quite easy, it's the first level, but the enemies later in the game can have very big weapons that can instantly kill you. Now onto the bugs of this game. There are some pretty nasty bugs. You'll notice that when I got hit then by that creature, I actually stopped attacking. Whenever you get hit, you'll actually cease to attack, and you'll be stunned for a second. Now, getting stun locked in a game like this can be pretty deadly. So, yeah, that's a bit of a big problem in this game. The other problem is that when you want to pick up ammunition, and there's only one ammunition pickup for all of your weapons, and you have to actually select the weapon that you want to add to ammunition pool for. So if I want to add ammo to this gun, I have to actually have it in my hand and then run over a power-up. I'll see if I can find one for you. You can see here, that's added ammo. Now if I have a gun that doesn't require ammo, like this claw, can't pick it up. So a lot of these are minor gripes, and the game is still pretty fun if you enjoy games of this type. There's a lot of nostalgia in this game, and a lot of people who played. Unfortunately, I was a little bit young to play Wolfenstein, but the first game I played was Doom, so this certainly is a little bit older than Doom in terms of the game it's trying to emulate, but it's a bit of fun. It's not too bad, and yeah, I don't mind it. I think this is actually quite a fun little game, and they're trying to emulate the games of old. So let's have a bit of a look later in the game. I'm going to show you one of the later levels, and I'll show you that the game actually gets quite challenging later on. And here we are on the last level of the game. The level name is also called Merger, and in this level we have one very simple objective: get to the end and take the boss out. Now, in this game there's about 6 weapons. You've got your melee weapon, your claw, assault rifle, grenade launcher, double barrel shotgun, and a plasma rifle, which feels a little bit underwhelming given it's the biggest weapon in the game. It burns through ammo, and it's actually not that effective against the larger enemies, but Yeah, the main problem is on this level is that there just is not a lot of health around, and it actually took me probably about 10 goes to make it through the level, and most of that difficulty is just around knowing which way to go and knowing roughly where the enemies are located. So the difficulty does feel a little bit artificial, but again, it's pretty much a throwback to the older style games, and a lot of my complaints are the exact same sort of issues we saw in games of this era. I guess if you're going to remake a game like this, you probably want to try and avoid those sort of issues. Remake the game, but leave the bugs out. Again, there's nothing here that is absolutely game-breaking. There are some really annoying bugs, but nothing really concerning. And if you do like games like Wolfenstein, you are looking for a fix of nostalgia, this game will bring it in spades. You just have to be prepared to put up with a lot of the little bugs. So that's not a really big deal, because a lot of the people who will be playing this game will be people like me who have played the original Wolfenstein, or at least if you played Doom, you'll know what you're in for. So it's a pretty fun game. There's a lot of fun to be had. This game took me around 5 hours to finish, which for a game of this type is pretty good. Probably would have been a little bit more if I had have tried to get to all of the secret areas and pick up all of the different items you can get. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. Try this game out. On Steam, it's about $2, and I think that is a really wise choice on the part of the developer, because any more than that in this game probably would not be something I'd recommend. But for a couple of dollars, definitely worth the asking price. So try this game out, pick it up, give it a go, and hopefully you will get a bit of enjoyment out of it. And we'll see you for the next episode. Until next time, Skill Incarnate out.